We are making our way through every Power 5 conference schedule in America. Mark Rogers TV, currently in the Big Ten. We're done with the SEC and the ACC, and we have arrived at the 10th most difficult schedule in the Big Ten. It belongs to IU, Indiana, the Hoosiers, the last place team in the Big Ten East, despite defeating the SEC Eastern Division winner, of course, last year, the Mizzou Tigers. So, in the analysis of Indiana's schedule, of course, they play in the East. The East is tougher than the West. Decidedly tougher. There's not a huge gap, but decidedly tougher. Okay. Out of division. So, 7 teams in the West. Indiana's got 2 of those teams. There's no Nebraska. There's no Wisconsin. There's not even Minnesota. It's Iowa. It's Purdue. Iowa coming off a 7-6 campaign. Purdue, as it stands right now, is the worst team in the Big Ten. So, Indiana gets the light touch with the always played rivalry for the Old Oaken Bucket against Purdue. That's on November 28th in West Lafayette, and the game against Iowa, a team that looks to be, again, marginal coming up this season, although we've got the Hawkeyes ranked with the worst or easiest schedule in the Big Ten at number 14. So that's basically Indiana's schedule in conference. They've got a tough stretch to start it out in conference play against Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers, Michigan State. That's a pretty tough stretch in October. That's the entire October schedule for the Hoosiers. Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers, Michigan State. Out of conference, they only have the 1 game against a Power 5, and it's about as bad a Power 5 as you can get. Throw Kansas, Purdue into that mix, as well as Vandy. It's Wake Forest on the road in Winston-Salem on September 26th. Before that, it's Southern Illinois. It's Florida International, it's Western Kentucky. Now, Western Kentucky's played some good football in recent years and appeared in bowl play last season. So, that's not to say, as has been the case in recent years, that the Hoosiers could not lose to a MAC team because they've done it on a fairly regular basis. So, this is no doubt not necessarily a clean sweep to Wake Forest. They could be 2-1 heading to Wake Forest. 2-2 would be spelling disaster for Indiana football this year. They need to go 3-1 minimum against these 4 games out of the chute, and they probably should go 4-0 because Wake is really, really bad. So Southern Illinois, Florida International, Western Kentucky, and Wake out of the gate, and then the tough stretch of Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers, Michigan State, the 2 non-division games, Iowa, Maryland, Purdue, make it pretty light for Indiana. It's the 10th toughest schedule in the Big Ten. Again, I'm not going to compare 9 versus 10, 10 versus 11. That would take forever. But there is a reason. There's a formula here. So I want you to, whether you're checking out the videos on YouTube or listening to the video podcast on Podbean, or some other platform out there, that you take the schedules and you size them up. And then if you don't agree that I've got 9 in front of 10 and think it should be the other way around, I want to hear from you. We'll talk it out. That'll be some good conversation on college football right here on Mark Rogers TV.